Good morning, everyone. This is a song that I have often sung to the sun, which has made quite a few beautiful appearances here in the last few days. Hello, beautiful today. Hello, beautiful now. Hello, beautiful sunshine, honey. I love you and how. Hello, beautiful me. Hello, perfect right here. Hello, wonderful day that's waiting. Goodbye, doubt and fear. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, beautiful sunshine, honey. I love you and hello, 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 beautiful me. Hello, hello, and right here. Hello, wonderful day that's waiting. Goodbye, doubt and fear. Bye, bye, bye now. Hello, let the sun shine now. Hello, let the sun shine in. Hello, I'll get you some of that sun. Let it on your skin. Hello, let the sun shine now. Hello, let the sun shine in. Hello, I'll get you some of that sun. Goodbye, doubt and fear. Bye bye now. Hello, let the sun shine today. Let the sun shine now. Let the sun shine. Let the sun shine. Hello, I'll get you some of that sun. I'll get you some of that sun. Let it on your let the sun shine. Hello, let the sun shine. Let the sun shine. Oh, I want you some of that. Oh, I'll get you some of that sun. Bye bye now. Hello, beautiful today.
Welcome, everybody. My name is Kathleen, and I am going to be the platform assistant today. And I'm very much excited about this service. We're going to actually hear a talk on the magic and mystery of Zeal, being given by Reverend Rebecca Bean. She is someone who she's a graduate from One Spirit Interfaith Seminary. She also speaks at a lot of New Thought and Unity churches. So I think this is going to be very interesting and uplifting morning. And I also, we just heard Leah Morris, and she's been with us many times, and she said, I'm a very inspirational singer, and she also sings a lot of things that you may find that you start getting into the tune of it and start singing to yourself at home. And now for the centering prayer before we go into music and the talk. I've chosen something from a book called Prayers for a Planetary Pilgrim by Edward Hayes. And it's a Sunday morning prayer, and Sunday morning for specifically autumn. Blessed God, creator of all, as our planet Earth whirls eastward toward the sun star, I arise on this autumn morning, refreshed by sleep. I greet the mellowness of this fall day with gratitude, as trees and plants acknowledge the death segment of their yearly cycle. I take hope in this morning that echoes the resurrection of your Son, Jesus. On this first day of the week, I enter into my heart to be one with you, my sacred guest, as I pray in silence. Amen.
so much to appreciate, even when the world feels out of hand, even when we do not understand, still there's so much. There's so much to be grateful for, even in the temptation to grieve. Let us take a moment just to breathe and recognize there's so much. There is so much that is wonderful, even in the midst of loss and change. There's a chance that something new begins. I know we want that so much. There is so much that is wonderful, even in the midst of loss and change. There's a chance that something new begins. I know we want that so much. I know we need it so much. So much.
Good morning, my friends. I am so delighted to be with you all today at Unity Center of DC through the magic of the internet. And I welcome you to my apartment on the Upper West Side of Manhattan. This morning, we're going to be looking at a foundational Unity idea, one of Unity co-founder Charles Fillmore's 12 powers. That's traditionally our focus in the month of October, and that's our power of zeal. Now, the 12 powers are a bedrock in our Unity practice. They remind us that each of us has 12 creative powers that are fundamental to our divine nature. We recognize we are 100% human and 100% divine, but most of us don't have a method for effectively developing all our spiritual capacities. Now, Charles Fillmore was truly a seeker of the divine. He was influenced profoundly by his wife Myrtle's healing journey as he explored a host of worldwide religions and combined them with his Christian beliefs to create the 12 power system for soul growth. Here is where our minds become linked with spirit, empowering us to create the life we want by focusing on and cultivating our 12 powers. Now, I have to confess that I think of all the 12 powers, the power of zeal might be my true favorite, probably because I was born in October, and that's why I feel a special connection and an appreciation for its qualities. We imagine our zeal power to be located at the base of the skull, and it's represented by Jesus' disciple Simon, considered our motivator. Zeal is joyfully symbolized by the color orange, a happy October color as we embrace the change of seasons into fall. Mr. Fillmore defines zeal in an especially appealing way. He's almost Shakespearean in his language here, as he calls it the inward fire of the soul that urges men onward, regardless of the intellectual mind of caution and conservatism. Zeal is a mighty force that incites the winds, the tides, and the storms. It urges the planet on its course and spurs the ant to greater exertion. From the mighty winds and the towering waves to all the way down to the tiniest little ant, aspiring to carry off that piece of chocolate cake at the picnic. Now, that's a power we can all use this morning that commands us to go forward. So This was a pretty special year for me as I celebrated my 72nd birthday and returned to my college campus in North Carolina to mark my 50th class reunion, coincidentally with the mighty class of 1972. And these two events have given me a somewhat unique perspective to explore the power of zeal today, to observe myself briefly in hindsight as a cautious and somewhat fearful 18-year-old, only beginning to find my zeal, and now decades later reflecting, hopefully, from a slightly more spiritually informed perspective. Looking back on the early college years in the late 1960s, even at a small conservative teachers' college, it was a great environment for me. It was a time to explore new things and experience new wonders and see what fit me best. I was going to try on as many hats as possible. And in those years, there was a spirit of profound change in our world, a lot of social upheaval across all the generations. And it was impossible not to be infused by the energy swirling around, with new opportunities emerging for women and feeling the motivation to create a new and better world for the future. As a generation, I felt we were in the grip of a rising wave of zeal, with infinite horizons and potential to overcome and make the world a better place on our watch. We were encouraged to show who we were by what we chose to do. We could sign up for the Peace Corps, we could demonstrate for peace, or we could just serve a higher calling whenever possible. And as we all learned in those demonstrations and marches, zeal is pretty darn contagious. When people around us see our zeal and enthusiasm, all of a sudden they seem to want to do better work as well. And on some of our very best days, some real good was accomplished when we brought together our wisdom and our zeal into our lives and our careers. Inspired by the work of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and so many others, we encouraged each other to stand strong and not lose faith, to keep our vision firmly before us. And as our zeal for life increased, so did our clarity of purpose. As Ecclesiastes 9:10 reminds us, whatsoever thy hand findeth to do, do it with all thy might. It's pretty easy to see why zeal and enthusiasm are synonymous. Enthusiasm is that awesome excitement we feel for something we really enjoy. The word enthusiasm comes from two Greek words, en and theos, meaning God, and that is translated to be manifesting the spirit within. Could that be even more perfect than unity? Oh, zeal and enthusiasm are like a force field that comes out before us, shining our inner light. We just naturally show our enthusiasm in our voices, our faces, our actions, and even in our posture. Our zeal radiates into the world in unmistakable ways. I was really fortunate over the years to be led to work that I really loved. Hardly seemed like work at all. I was able to identify the things I had strength in pretty early, and I appreciated what could bring me joy every day. I sought out work there. And let me tell you, that's a blessing to make a living and have a life that was really fun and rewarded me nearly every day. It was nothing short of a miracle. In the last decade or two, I've been a professional fundraiser, a development officer, serving some great nonprofits here in the city. And each and every one that I worked for, I respected and loved. And believe me, radiating enthusiasm and zeal for their causes was a required daily thing to do and a serious responsibility in fundraising. But as we live and learn, we change and we grow up, don't we? As the one and only Eric Butterworth famously said, we don't just go through life, we must grow through it. As I got closer to the time for retirement, even my strong commitment to unity practice felt there was a little bit of loss in my zeal. an indicator to me that the work I had loved forever was just burning me out. I needed a new thing, a new goal to energize my life. So I enrolled in Interfaith Seminary here in town, a 2-year program toward ordination as an interfaith minister. Now, some might say I had realized a calling to the ministry, but it was hardly as dramatic as Saul being struck blind on the road to Damascus. It was more like being coaxed out into a new path, like patiently tempting a kitten to come out from under the couch and have a little bit of tuna. Only I was hungry to explore new ways to experience an even bigger God and gather some new perspectives in God's love in the world. And I found a whole crazy tribe that supported me and understood my need for the journey. It was challenging, and I'm forever grateful for the experience. It eased me into the courage for retirement to focus my energy in a new way. Somehow embracing that wider range of interfaith ministry gave me a greater appreciation for the work of the Fillmores, especially Charles and his great research around all of the traditions. His zeal for seeking a bigger God was unstoppable, just as Myrtle's faith continues to shine like a beacon for generations, embracing healing and health and wholeness. Especially in the later years, I recognize that zeal and enthusiasm are essential for living a meaningful life. It's not what we do in life, in our jobs or relationships, but how we do it that really matters. When we are inspired, we are open to new connections and have new thoughts that can make a huge difference in our quality of life. As we raise our vision of the world, I believe we're more able to see from God's view. So, where are you in this process this morning? Are you energized with the steady power of Spirit moving in your life? If all's going along great, hooray! Take this perfect moment to be grateful and just relish that blessing. But if, like some of us, you anticipate some major changes coming down the road, retirement, unexpected shifts in economy or in health, let's consider for just a moment how we might keep a grip on that power of zeal and its potential to sustain us through any life change. We live in a human world where change is a constant gift and an opportunity for us to grow and evolve. Thank God, when we are filled with Spirit, we are well equipped to stand strong in the face of any storm. In touch with our divinity, we can look out in the world with confidence that all will be well. So, if your zeal is feeling a little bit low today, what shifts can we make to help keep that urge alive to move boldly forward like that tiny but mighty ant? How are we going to do that? Well, I believe to jumpstart our zeal, we have to first put aside our worry about any looming challenges and focus on what brings us joy. Almost like Emmett Fox's theory on the golden key, where we purposely take our minds off the problem and focus totally on God. Now, when I moved to New York in the 1980s, there was a fantastic little toy shop called The Last Wound Up. It was up on Columbus Avenue, and it was filled, as you might imagine, with little wind-up toys. And every day they would put a card table outside the front door and a collection of wind-up toys just for the world to pass by and play with. Its store slogan was, "Never postpone your joy." And I stopped every time I walked by that spot just to laugh and play a little bit. And I took that slogan firmly to my heart, and I've never forgotten it. It's such a simple affirmation, but it sure encouraged me. And I hope it will encourage you today to embrace that profound guidance as well. What are we waiting for? Grab your joy every day and wind it up and watch it put the bounce back in your life. Because in its highest iteration, sometimes choosing our zeal might even require us to sizzle, as Charles Fillmore is famous for proclaiming when he was 94 years old. I fairly sizzle with zeal and energy and enthusiasm, eager to do what is I'm to do by me today. And doesn't that conjure up a powerful image of Mr. Fillmore striding around Unity Village and getting the job done? Or maybe just sitting so still in the sunshine, listening to God's quiet song in his heart. Mr. Fillmore truly understood that we are all blessed with more than enough zeal to propel us forward every day. We just have to open our hearts and accept that power and keep on growing. The Fillmores never stop growing as their ideas continue to live and thrive in each one of us and be a powerful force around the world. So all these years down the line, what is it that helps the magic and mystery of zeal keep on rolling in us? Well, far removed from the firebrand years of the 60s, older zeal, I think, is a softer, gentler animal. It's still what gets me up in the morning, but it also lets me sleep pretty well most nights. It's something I count on, despite any obstacles that might try to distract me from my purpose. And let's be real, aging is not for the faint of heart. There's still a lot to do every single day, isn't there? But my grown-up zeal has allowed me to set my priorities in a different direction and appreciate not having to do certain things anymore that I'm older. Like realizing the word no is a complete sentence. Thank God, I no longer feel compelled to go on and apologize for my choices. To elaborate, just waste my time and others' patience as well. I am more at peace in my choices, and I am grateful. And with that explaining time out of the way, I can invest a lot more time and energy in self-care, becoming more mindful of well-informed, healthy choices in my food and my exercise. I'm actively involved in learning new skills, especially on the computer. Our computers and the internet became our lifeline during COVID for our sanity and our safety. And by golly, I think we have adapted pretty darn well. It continues to open some amazing new doors for me, like the joy of being here with all of you this morning. Who knows where we can go with this amazing tool set? I encourage all of us to continue to connect with new friends of all ages, to open our minds to new energy and ideas we've never encountered. And as you might recall, zeal is pretty contagious, and as we expose ourselves to new people and experiences, we can't help but catch some of their zeal as well. Let's all seek out some new challenges for our mind, body, and spirit. I'm a devoted reader. I treasure my book group. We've met for 25 years. I now take a weekly Tai Chi class, and it keeps me wiggling around pretty well for 72. I shore up my spirit daily. I read daily word and teach and speak whenever possible. I'm blessed to be a Unity prayer chaplain, and I help guide our seniors group in my church on some great new adventures in the city. These gifts of service and my zeal bless my life in limitless ways. I believe that Robert Browning shared a great truth for us, and I bet Mr. Fillmore would agree when he wrote, "Grow old along with me. The best is yet to be." Armed with our power of zeal, somehow it's easy to take in Eric Butterworth's claim, "We're always as young as our faith or as old as our fears. Jesus, our way shower, said, "Be not afraid, little flock." I invite us all to stand in our faith today, never losing sight of the zeal that continues to call us forward to be the shining examples of God's divine children that we are. And so it is. Amen. Now it's our time to get quiet for a bit together as we move into our time of meditation. Thank you so much for presenting that beautiful daily word for today, reminding us that there is no spot where God is not, and that we are always completely safe in God's good care, divinely protected. When I was a little kid, I was really afraid of the dark. But as I got a little older, I realized I could calm down just a little bit if I could say out loud, "I'm okay. Whew, I'm okay." I guess it was like a little prayer or maybe a meditation that I hoped would keep away any monsters I was imagining in my mind. Nowadays, when I'm feeling other monsters in the corner or hearing them roar on the news, I can remember just to take a really deep breath. And even when I relax just the tiniest bit, it seems to bring back my courage to know that I am okay. God has got me, especially when I can't see my way. I invite you to check your own body right now for any tension and send some love to that spot, relaxing your shoulders or your neck, and feel your chair fully supporting you. There's nothing for you to do for the next few moments, but feel yourself surrounded and protected by God's love. Imagine you are wrapped in the warm arms of Spirit holding you close, where nothing can harm you. Not your own thoughts, no outside forces, and certainly no monsters in the corner. And let's bring to mind right now anything that might be on your heart this morning that you would like to release into the silence for clarity or resolution. And as we feel ourselves letting go of any issues, let's focus on just listening in the silence and trusting the right and perfect direction for what we are to do and be, and this time will become clearer in our hearts today. And perhaps long after the silence, when we're having lunch or chatting with friends, we will be guided into our right next steps, inspired to be the change we wish to see in the world in our own unique way. Please join me now in the silence. And with one more deep, easy breath together, let's emerge gently and slowly from our time apart. I join with you as we open our eyes to affirm there is new confidence in our breath as we know I'm okay. God is here and I am safe. For nothing is stronger than God. And so it is. Amen.
This is a song of celebration and of zeal and of recognition. When the blood is coursing through my veins, I feel like a miracle. When I breathe out and in again, I feel like a miracle. When spirit sends a sweet refrain, it feels like a miracle that I can share a song again. It feels like a miracle. And I feel holy, I feel good. I feel like every spark of creation should. I feel the perfect truth of who I am. If you feel like a miracle, you ought to say amen. If you feel like a miracle, go on and say amen. And I'm not going to compel anybody to say amen, but if you want, we can sing this song as a call and response. So when I sing a line, you can sing back. Feels like a miracle. When a smile is shining on my face, it feels like a miracle. When loving friends fill up a place, it feels like a miracle. With every gentle, warm embrace, it feels like a miracle. I know we never fell from grace, it feels like a miracle. I feel holy, I feel good. I feel like every spark of creation should. I feel the perfect truth of who I am. If you feel like a miracle, you ought to say amen. If you feel like a miracle, go on and say amen. Say amen. The mother's sun is rising high, feels like a miracle. When sister moon reigns o'er the sky, it feels like a miracle. When any newborn baby cries, it feels like a miracle. One day I'll lay me down and die and know life sure was a miracle. I feel holy, I feel good. I feel like every spark of creation should. I feel the perfect truth of who I am. If you feel like a miracle, go on and say amen. You say you've never seen a miracle, just look in the mirror then. If you're looking for a miracle, that's just who I am. Thank you.
Oh my, we are blessed this morning. Hello, my friends. What a wonderful service. Just because Leah was singing this minute, I will say thank you to you first. What zeal, what enthusiasm, what joy. And indeed, each of us is a miracle. Thank you. And Reverend Rebecca, what a wonderful message that we don't just go through life, we grow through life. And each of us knows at this age and stage, which we pretty much are all together here, nothing stays the same. It's just an adventure. And if you can bring zeal with it, that's a real ticket to happiness. Thank you so much for your message. It's a time to give back, to support this ministry. So let's put up the slide that tells people how they can thank and support Unity Center DC. You can go online, as you know, and give through Venmo or Zeal or Give Lively. All these are on the website, and PayPal, and don't forget Amazon Smile. And then, of course, feel free to send your checks to our post office box. And thank you. Your board thanks you, and we all thank you together. And here is our offertory blessing. Please join me. We are grateful for the abundance in our lives. We give freely without fear, knowing that God is the source of all our supply. We are secure in the knowledge that unlimited prosperity is available to us. We are grateful for all our needs being fully met, and we give back, knowing that giving and receiving are one energy flow. We are truly thankful for all of God's rich blessings. Amen.
Closing prayer is a prayer to honor the ancestors. It's written by Jesse Huntenberg. To those who've left the temple of the body to enter the temple of the earth and sky, I honor you. Thank you for giving me life. Thank you for giving birth in fields and caves in cover of night, enemy lying in wait. I honor women who died as children, entered the world from their wombs. I honor children who grew motherless and bravely said yes to life. I honor the witches burned for being just who they were, being just who you were meant to be, being wiped from the earth by those too scared to embrace themselves. I honor those who died by a failing of the body or by a tragedy that snatched them too soon. I honor those who died old. I honored those who died young, died painfully, died peacefully, left this world in fear or acceptance, left this world fulfilled or wanting more. One day I will be amongst you. I am a flicker, a flame that will be snuffed out like every flame before me. This is something I sometimes forget. This is something I sometimes lose faith in. Sooner or later, I return for long enough to remember that I'm just passing through. I honor you all, the spirits of the dead, the armies of the once was. I hold your picture in my palms, leaves of legacies. Some of you are celebrated and some have faded to dust, but whoever you are, the living remember you this day and this period of days. I honor you that you once lived, that you suffered, sinned, and loved, that you exalted, breathed, exhaled, that you beheld this gorgeous twisted orb, that what you were picked its way. Amen.